Been getting a lot of questions about acoustic guitar bracing, the X bracing pattern, fan bracing, and ladder bracing, but mainly the X bracing pattern about forward shifted or rear shifted X bracing, and what should I get for me? What would be best for me? That's what we're going to talk about today. Acoustic guitar bracing. Everyone probably that watches the channel knows what the X bracing is. You can look down into the hole here and see part of the X bracing in this guitar right there. That's the X, and it comes up, crosses right there, comes down to about here, and then it crosses there again and comes down to about right there. Okay. Now, there is a standard bracing. That's what most guitar companies, I think Martin maybe came up with this, placing that brace in a certain place in a guitar, kind of to give it strength and a good sound, both. And later on in the years, they started experimenting with it, moving the bracing pattern around. And say, for instance, forward shifted. A lot of people ask me, what is forward shifted bracing? Okay, it's just a standard bracing pattern, and it's shifted forward toward the sound hole. It's shifted toward the sound hole. Okay, that's forward shifted bracing. What does it do? Well, it opens all this entire area up down here for more vibration. It allows it to vibrate more, giving you a lot punchier, bassy, big booming sound. Okay, and then there again you have your standard bracing, which I think is what this guitar has. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. And then rear shifted bracing is just, you guessed it, the opposite of that. They move the bracing back farther away from the sound hole, and it boxes this area down here. This is where all the voice, well, most of the voice comes from. And rear shifted, that makes this area smaller, tighter, and changes the entire sound of the guitar big time. You get more of a crunchy, no, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a crunchy like sound, but it's not as fat or as cannony like, you know what I mean? The advantages and disadvantages of this, like I said, if you forward shift your brace, that opens this area up, gives you that big booming cannon sound, but the downfall to that is it makes the guitar weaker back here. And usually they belly up over, a certain number of years. Under string tension, all acoustics do it. Forward shifted bracing probably is going to do it before anything else will. Now, if you have it rear shifted bracing, you're actually making this stronger back here. And a lot of cheaper builds do that for strength. They're not really don't care about the sound, though some of them do sound good. But by moving it back like that, you're really strengthening this up. And I mean, we're just talking a little bit of movement. The center of this X brace in this guitar, I can see it there. It's about right there. Roughly, right in that area, okay? If you move that up a ½ inch, it's going to completely change the sound of this guitar. If you move it back a ½ inch, there again, totally different from standard bracing. A lot of cheaper guitars, and I'm not knocking cheap guitars because some of them sounds good, but a lot of them, people ask me a lot, why do harmony guitars and K guitars and Sigma guitars and just lower end ones, why do they hold up so long? And here you have Martins and Gibsons that just fall all to shit, a lot of times within only a few years. And that's the reason, because those cheaper guitars they use a heavier bracing, which is takes away from the quality sound. But every now and then they'll get it right, and then they'll come up with a booming sounding fine guitar, even with the heavy bracing in it. Plus they usually shift the bracing back, rear shifted, which strengthens this entire area back here. And they hold up good over time. I mean, they're built like a friggin' tank usually. And that's one of the reasons that cheaper guitars last so long with lesser work than a very expensive guitar does. A very expensive guitar, they're going for quality sound, okay? They tap tune that top, okay? Usually to around A440 standard pitch. They don't back up. Let me get my shit together. They don't tap to it to that. Tap tune it to that. They tap tune it so it will resonate best at that frequency and around that frequency. Now you can have custom guitars built, tap tuned to whatever you want. You know, if you want it tuned to a G instead of an A, tell them to do that. They can do it. Cheap guitar builders, I don't think, do that. None of them, I don't think, do it. So yeah, the bracing, another thing people ask about a lot is scalloping braces. What does that do? Well, all it is they remove material from the center of each strand of that X. Okay? There again, lighter bracing, better sound. Cheap guitars have heavy bracing, that's why they last. Lighter bracing, the guitar sounds better, but you're really weakening the top here. And under string tension over years and years, you know, that usually ends up with a big belly back here, or the bridge lifting or whatever, you know, because it's so hollowed out, so to speak, back here. But that's what scallop bracing is. They go in there and scallop the X brace. And I've seen them scallop the voicing bars too, and all those other finger braces in there. I've seen all those scallop. And it does. It improves the sound of the guitar big time. But it weakens the entire top of it. You're probably going to have it worked on sooner than you would if you left it alone or left the braces unscalloped and heavy. So that's why cheap guitars usually last a very long time as compared to $6,000 Santa Cruz, which in 10 years probably is going to need a lot of work done to it if it's not been properly maintained, for one thing, and taken very good care of, you know. Plus, cheap guitars are usually not drug all over the globe into different climates and different settings, being played every night like more expensive guitars do. People buy the more expensive guitars and drag them all over the country playing music, and those guitars take a beating, you know. And you find an old cheap Harmony or whatever in a closet. Oh, whoa, this thing's 50 years old. It's flawless, you know. Well, sure it is, man. It's built like a friggin' tank. It's not going to sound like a Santa Cruz, but it'll probably hold together better than one. So that's all I can think of on the bracing thing here. Just so many questions, man. I can't remember them all. Woo! But I hope that answers some of the questions about the bracing in acoustic guitars and scalloping and heavy braces or light braces. Now, when it comes to what bracing pattern is good for you, it depends a whole lot on what you play and how you play. If you're a heavy-handed player, or if you just touch the notes out, play very light-handed, the type of music that you play, you know, that contributes to what would fit best to the kind of music that you play. There again, you have fan bracing. That's what they all do. You see guitars with braces running all the way, I don't know if you can see the guitar or not, I can't see the camera. If you've seen guitars that have braces that run, you know, like this, a whole bunch of them usually, that's fan bracing. Ladder bracing is just horizontally braces across, like on the back of a guitar. Normally you see, that's ladder bracing. Dreadnought guitars usually, or almost always, they are always X braced. And like I say, I think Martin invented that, came up with it. I don't know if Gibson uses the same measurements as to where to set that X brace, or they probably have their own configuration for that, I would assume. And it's probably different from Martin too, I would assume that. I don't know that for sure, so you guys can do the homework on that and tell me if you find out. It'd be interesting to know. But hopefully that answers all the questions that I've been asked about acoustic guitar bracing. That's all I can think of right at the time. Scallop bracing, why? Yes or no? Depends on, you know, you and your playing and what you want the guitar to sound like. Forward bracing or forward shifted bracing. Damn, I can't talk tonight. Or rear shifted bracing. There again, depends on what you want the guitar to sound like, what kind of music you play, if you're heavy-handed, light-handed. So many things contribute to what you like. And I always ask a lot, what do I like? I like forward shifted bracing. That's, there again, just as I showed you already, That's moving the entire bracing system toward the sound hole. That's forward shifting. Opens this area up for a great big booming sound. And that's what I like. But, you know, there again, the problem is you have to work on your guitar probably a lot sooner and a lot more than you would if you had standard bracing or rear shifted. I hope that helps. I can't think of any of the other questions right now. Hopefully I didn't miss any. If I did, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them if I can keep up. Cheers. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Oh, one more thing. Check this out. There you go. You can't feel it so much anymore. You can still see it, but you can't feel it. You know what? I was thinking today, when I was buffing that out, I was thinking, you old subscribers that have been here a long time know about my airbrush bloating up last year, a year and a half ago, whenever it was. Now my buffer motor burned up. I don't have a buffer either. But I was thinking today, and it's dangerous when I think, but I was thinking today, if I had a brush, airbrush that I could trust, I've got two, but I wouldn't do a job like this. But if I had one I could trust, and I had a good, decent buffer, or a new one, I'm going to get another one. After all the shit this guitar's been through and the owner, you know, I would at least refinish the entire top for him for free. I would just say, dude, I'm going to throw this in for you. Here it is. Strip the old lacquer off of it and recoat, respray it. I would do that for the owner for free, just because of all the drama this guitar has caused across the internet. But I don't have, you know, I would fix that and make it invisible if I had that stuff. I'm going to get it again. I had it before, wore it out. I'm going to get it again. I'm not crazy about doing finish work, but yeah, like I said before, I do it when I have to. Anyways, we're going to glue the neck on this puppy. Probably be the next video. Or you might see this one before I glue. Well, obviously it's not on now, but cheers. Thanks for watching. Woo!